Welcome to the OFX podcast. I'm Dave Claxton. Along with me is the in-morning maniac, Miss McChesney, Bethany McChesney, which is slightly repetitive, but you get the point.
In
Episode brought to
morning.
yeah, in morning for Rugged Maniac.
Right. Yes.
Yes, because you did Rugged Maniac,
I did every year because it was my first Rugged Maniac was my introduction to OCR.
and you used to bring clients there because that was probably the closest OCR for you, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. So that one was only about an hour and a bit drive, which is as close as it ever gets. And so, yeah, one year we had like 45 people from my gym there. It was awesome. So, yeah, I did it every year that it was here, starting in 2017. Never lost.
Never lost.
Nope.
You're undefeated.
Undefeated.
So it's a good thing they're gone.
I know at some point someone would beat me and then I wouldn't have that.
I would like to make a huge deal out of it, but the problem is they've been gone here for a while now.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of not surprised after the way it kind of fell apart here. It just made me think that things were bound to go downhill elsewhere because they got good turnouts here. They had good loyal fan base and customers, and it seemed like they got you know like I said a good turnout, but it wasn't enough. So I'm not terribly surprised, but I am disappointed for the OCR community
Hmm.
because now, I mean, when you thought of, say, races to bring people out to their first time, like Warrior Dash was definitively one.
Hmm.
Um, now Rugged Maniac, and up here Mud Hero, and I don't think Mud Hero is doing very well either, if they're still going or not.
I don't know. I haven't heard of any in a while.
Yeah, and yeah, the beginner OCRs are fading.
Yeah. And you really do need that entry level, like not intimidating OCR to get people. I could convince anyone at my gym to do Rugged Maniac. And then, maybe a quarter of those people could maybe do a Spartan, but it's just people gotta get their feet wet. And that Rugged Maniac was just so good for that. Because it was about, I think their slogan was come for the run, stay for the fun or something. But like
Yeah.
you gotta, I mean, I think Spartan you get a free beer too, but like the actual party was significant after Rugged Maniac. And they had it, the one where we always went to, they hosted it near beach volleyball courts and like yeah, it was a really good environment for people that were intimidated by the Tough Mudders and the Spartans.
Yeah, and I remember I think I did the one in Kitchener. I think I did it twice.
Hmm.
And I think I don't know if it was 2 years in a row, but I think our friend Michelle McCarthy, I know at least once she won the and I mean you're talking about the festival area, she won that beer stein holding contest.
Yeah, they have these fun little contests all the time.
Mm.
Pull up
Yeah.
contests and holding beer and
And the MCs could never say Guelph.
really.
Oh yeah, we were there the one time and there must have been like tons of people from Guelph, obviously in Kitchener, so it's a very short drive. And he was from the States, and it was like Guelp, and like he said like three or four different ways, and none of them were even close to Guelph. I understand because Guelph is a very strangely spelt word, so if you're not grow up
Well,
with it, but it was kind of funny. It was kind of good
mhm.
to see how many times you could do it. But yeah, it was a great um festival area atmosphere. They did a good job with that.
Yeah.
And then they had, I would say one thing, and this is when Rye came up and ran it with us too. Rugged Maniac seems like everywhere else was like this easy qualification for OCRWC, like just run competitive and rugged and you'll qualify.
Hmm.
It was one of the fastest bloody races anywhere when it came to Kitchen. It was like, because you had to come top 10,
Hmm.
and it was super, like, I didn't have a hope in hell.
It was fast. Well,
Super
like
fast.
I and it wasn't that much of a mountain. So
No.
you legitimately had to run fast.
Yeah. 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 And the obstacles were not super challenging, so that
No.
didn't save you any.
No, you don't. Well, and you don't really fail them. Like you fall off, you just keep going.
Yeah, that bothered me. I didn't like that at all.
But most of them you wouldn't actually ever fail. Like,
They had that, I think it was Barzan, and that one a lot of people were falling off, but
hmm
just it just yeah. So anyway, Rugged's gone. I'm sad because it's another OCR gone. However, like somebody start a company. There's lots of spots open now. And I think Spartan has changed its marketing so much that they kind of fill that spot of beginner OCR because in the beginning it was, you're gonna die, try a Spartan if you're tough enough.
hmm
And now it's like, hey, fun for everyone. Bring your kids.
Well, and even eliminating burpees also changes it because, now people aren't thinking, oh, I could potentially do 180 burpees and yeah, so that takes a bit of the scare factor away from it too.
You remember they
And
used to,
even just now that it's 5K,
yeah, yeah,
like it
yeah,
used to be ish.
5 miles ish.
hmm
Yeah, I don't remember how far my first sprint was, but it was much more than 5K.
Oh yeah, so yeah.
Yeah. Um, the, they used to say, trail runners could come in and dominate Spartan. I think it's more true now than ever.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that I find the carries aren't as heavy, they
Mhm.
aren't as long. And now eliminating your burpees, you just fly through the run loops and for sure.
Yeah, yeah, and we always know the penalties are never what we would like them to be, or what I would like them to be.
Yeah. And even our rig never changes anymore. When Platinum Rig had a setup, their rig was always unique and more challenging, but now it's just rings, horizontal bar, ring.
Yeah, and they even take the ropes away.
Yeah.
So that I agree. But anyway, so what I'm saying is it fills the void. It's trying to kind of be all of it, right? So that fills the void for that. Anyway, so long, Rugged Maniac, and I'm sure Spartan will buy your obstacles. Unless you want to just give them away, and then I'll take them. I could use them. I could use that Barzan rig. I liked that one. That was a good obstacle.
You know what one I thought was really funny, and I mean it's not something you fail, but when they had those lily pads on the water and you had
Oh,
to run across them,
those
those
are
were yeah.
they had a
And they did
trampoline.
have some big blow up things too that were kind of goofy.
Yeah,
Those can go
big
away.
trampoline one, and they
Yeah.
actually had a decent warp wall too. It wasn't like a warp wall we had to
It
climb
was
up.
a significant warp
It was
wall.
significant. It was like uh,
Scary.
yeah, yeah, it was a big one. And the other one they had actually I liked, but I thought they did it wrong. So it was like you'd grab it and it was like almost like a zip line, but on a rail instead.
Yeah.
And then you'd hit the bell at the end. And then you'd land in water. And I'm like, well, it should be if we get to the bell, we don't land in the water and we keep going. Instead, it's just everybody lands in the water. So I'm like, what's the sense of even finishing the obstacle? Like just
Well, I mean ape hangers like that.
yeah, that's dumb too. But at least there's a penalty if you fail it.
Yeah. Actually there was did you say trampolines?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There was a
Yeah,
trampoline.
there was trampolines too. That was funny.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it was hard to take serious, but at the same time, like I said, it was a fast race in Kitchener. It was always really fast.
Yeah. hmm
I remember if I wanted my quick OCR WC qual, I went to Mud Hero and just
hmm
ran the Sunday race because there was like nobody competitive there.
Yeah.
Easy, easy, easy qual. Um, all right, so a couple things. We don't want to take too long tonight, but a couple of things we want to talk to. First off, can anybody touch Jarrett Newby with weight on their back?
No, this actually blows my mind. Yeah, just set the world record for a half marathon with 100 pounds on his back. So you're basically piggybacking me on your back. He ran a 147,
Hmm.
I
Half
believe.
marathon.
Yeah, that's just over 5 minute kilometers with a
It's
100 pounds on your back.
I would be happy. to run a 147 half marathon.
Yeah.
I would consider that that's okay. That's I would I wouldn't shout it to the world, but I'd be like, yeah, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that.
Sure.
I can be decent with that.
Yeah.
But with 100 pounds on your back, that's insane.
Hmm. Yeah, so he ha also has the world record for the half marathon with 50 pounds, and it's like a 132, 133, which again, that's a very good half marathon.
Yeah. And it didn't slow him down that much to put another 50 pounds on his back.
No, I don't even know how you breathe.
I, I don't know. He's built for it. He is a
Yeah,
strong dude and a
yeah.
great runner. You know what though? I was just because I was thinking about there. You talk about the records I saw recently. This guy is putting in to do the world record for Hyrox broad jump burpees.
We have one.
I don't know. I'm like, so it got me thinking. I'm like, okay, so and he applied. He's applied to Guinness, and I don't know, whatever. I can't remember his name, but anyway, because quite frankly, I don't take it very seriously. I'm like, this is like one section of a race.
So you
It's,
have to do it within the race?
I guess.
Oh, so
Otherwise, it's just an 80-meter burpee broad jump, and that. So anyway,
you
my
just
thought.
sandbag the whole race and then smash your burpees?
Yes, that's exactly what this guy does. That's exactly what he does.
Okay.
And I'm just like, so it made me think back to when Hunter tried to get Guinness to buy into setting a Murph record. And I'm like, and then he got rejected for some reason. And I looked at it and I thought, well, he must have fucked up the paperwork or something because there's no way Guinness would buy into this guy doing a record for a portion of a race compared to
Yeah.
a record of a workout that hundreds of thousands of people do. Maybe hundreds of thousands, you think? Maybe.
Well,
How
hundreds
many
of
people?
thousands of people participate in the CrossFit Open, so
I would
maybe.
wager that, yeah. Hundreds of thousands of people do this workout, and it's often a bragging point and stuff like that. So I think he must have screwed up the paperwork. Otherwise, like, I mean, come on, they recognize stuff like
They have,
running a
they're
mile
ridiculous.
bouncing balloons and
Yeah,
these
there's like, once I spent some time trying to think of something that I could maybe set a world record for. So I was looking at the ridiculousness of some of them, and it was like 100-meter hurdles with flippers on. Like there's some completely ridiculous ones.
fastest marathon in a clown suit. For
Yeah,
the,
stuff like
yeah.
that. Um, so, but like you know why Guinness World Records started, right?
Well, wasn't it like so to settle bar bets and stuff, wasn't it?
Yeah, so it was like Guinness, the beer company,
Yeah.
started it so to try to sell more beer so that people would sit down and talk about these ridiculous world records at the pub and while they drink a Guinness. So the point of them being kind of ridiculous is part of it.
I guess so, yeah. Yeah. Well, I still think a Murph record would be ridiculous. I would like
It's not, yeah, and some of them are amazing and legitimate. Like they're not all goofy, but there is a lot of goofy ones.
I am a big fan of Murph, big fan of the Murph workout, and definitely hold Alec Blinnis as the legit record holder for it,
Hmm.
and beyond a shadow of a doubt in my mind. I would love to put together an actual list of legit, verified Murph times, like a top 10 Murph time, even for age groups and stuff like that. And because I think that's something the world needs. I don't know how the hell I'd do it or how to do it, but I think that's something somebody should do. And sadly, I only got like two times that I could legitimately verify.
Hmm.
But maybe it could motivate people.
Hmm.
Maybe I could do that. I'm going to set the Murph record for dudes over 50.
Yeah, if you can find it.
What do you mean find it? Probably nobody else has even claimed it. Not with a video and a judge and the whole deal.
Hmm.
So anyway, um, yeah. So newbie, absolute machine, will win every rucking event he enters.
Hmm.
Is why we don't allow gambling on that stuff. Um,
Yeah.
all right, a couple other things because before we're going to talk about Tough Mudder in Saudi, but before we get there, a couple other things. Hyrox has put anti-doping into their rule book. I
Has it?
stumbled upon it the other day. It is in there. So now
Did they
that
Did they announce they did, or did they just quietly slide it in?
I think they quietly slid it in. I never saw any announcement on it. So
Hmm.
this is me announcing it for them. Um, so they actually could test somebody now if they wanted, but it's
Good.
been a long time since they promised that test and it's still not here.
Hmm.
And we'll see if they get it in by Worlds, I'll say, okay, good for you guys. You did it. You said you wouldn't need
Hmm.
it, but I don't think they will.
I mean, top three.
Yeah, even just warning anybody.
But then, I mean, what happens if someone's like we just they, Hyrox has its celebrities. So what happens if one of them is caught? Just kind of taints it. But I mean, as they should be testing, but I can see their apprehensions.
Oh yeah, for sure. It makes sense to have apprehension, especially after it's been like 6, 7 years of high rocks
Yeah.
and no testing or even rules for it so far.
Hmm.
But now at least I will give them full credit. It's in the rule book. So if you are on PEDs, it is done by the WADA standards. You are
Yeah.
officially cheating.
Hmm.
So there you go. So if you get caught, don't cry. So and I'm happy. I'm happy they did. One more other last thing here before we get to Tough Mudder. Mal O'Brien out of CrossFit.
Yeah.
So I figured you'd have thoughts on that.
Oh, well, yeah, I do have my thoughts. I mean, I don't know too much about her situation besides just following her on Instagram. But yeah, last year she sat out the season. She had said due to some mental health issues, just wanted to kind of get healthy and sort some things out, which how old is she now? 20? So she
If
was
that, yeah.
19.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think so.
she's young and just she was a contender to potentially win last year, so that was a big deal. But I mean, you can also understand the pressure on such a young athlete in a sport that's so visible and so out there. And she was coached by Matt Fraser at the time, and um, yeah, and then now just recently, and then we never saw her come back into competition. And then she just recently posted that she was going to step away. She's moving to Hawaii to get a bit of a fresh start, and that she's going to kind of focus on some other things. She'll still be training and doing her thing with CrossFit. She said she'd never leave the sport, but just the competition side of things wasn't going to happen for right now. Maybe down the road, she said, but we just don't know. So yeah, I really applaud her though for taking the her mental health so seriously. It's that much pressure on someone so young in such a big sport would just be astronomical. And I was kind of worried about her being coached by someone like Matt. Just, I mean, anyone who's ever followed CrossFit knows Matt Fraser's training is out of this world. And to be so dominant, it would have to be. And he has stated as well, like he put his entire life on hold for 8 years, essentially no social activities, nothing. Uh, so then I don't know how Matt is as a coach, but if he required similar of his athletes, that's an awful lot. So it might have just not been the right coaching philosophies for, a young female. And even the difference with males and females and coaching, and it's not the same. And especially at an age where like women have their own issues around that time too. That and I don't know if Matt understands that or not. I wouldn't have a clue, but there's just a lot more that you need to consider.
When you think of something like Emma Carey struggled with some mental stuff. Is it Haley Adams?
Haley Adams, yeah.
I worry about Emma Lawson. I mean, she was so young getting started.
Hmm.
Seemingly does well, but I swear I look at her face and I just see stress, you
Yeah.
know? And it could be just the way she looks.
Yeah.
I don't
Hmm.
know. But I see it and I'm just like, I think that they should put, and they may have, I think they do have an age limit in there, but I think it should be higher. I think it should be like 20 years old before anyone can actually go to the games.
Yeah.
Because I think they need to be of that maturity level to handle that kind of pressure and that kind of
Yeah.
stress. That's a lot of stress.
Yeah. Well, and even just like the volume of the work to
Hmm.
get to that level to be at the games is just insane. So for someone that's so young to be putting in that much training volume, obviously some of them can handle it, but is it best for them like a 16-year-old girl to be training at that amount? Like I don't think so. So yeah, to put it a little bit older, um, even like some of these girls have put school on hold and post-secondary because just the training is so high. So I don't know. CrossFit is just, it's crazy, I think, what some of these pros do and the amount that they train. And it's a bit of a, and we saw this with Brooke Wells too, and just her injuries and some of the athletes that train with her. And just they've said it's kind of a, you either, it's a, you ride this line all the time of you're either like in incredible shape or you're breaking. And you're kind of always toying with like that breaking point of maybe a bit too much, but we're going to kind of test it. And yeah, she's been a little bit chronically injured lately, kind of maybe pushed past it too much. So
Well, pushing back to like Hyrox, that it sounds like Michaela is, she's that same, and coming from the CrossFit world, right? She does that like unreal amount of volume and is constantly, I shouldn't say constantly, struggles with health,
yeah,
to say the least. And I'm like, when you're putting in that much volume that often, and yeah,
yeah,
well, yeah. I would like to see them put in that higher age limit. We'll see if they ever
yeah.
do, but I
I
think
hope that she stays, going back to Mal O'Brien, I hope that she stays open about her struggles too, because I think, and maybe even can open up a little bit more now. I don't know if she'll be able to keep her sponsorships if she's not competing. I was thinking about this too. Some of that is also a world that's if you've never lived in that world where you have sponsors and contracts, there's you become like a commodity to them too. You have expectations and you have to perform and you have to perform at these levels and you get bonuses if you so there's a whole other level of pressure that's not just coming from your coach and yourself and the people. Like it's coming from your you this is how you now make money and you have sponsors that pressure you also because they make money if you perform. So she has some really big sponsors, Rogue and Noble, and they I mean, I'm sure in her contracts, if she's not competing, she probably is going to lose some of that anyways.
yeah, well, you think about like when you say that, a lot of people who listen are Spartan ambassadors or Hyrox ambassadors or
Mm-hmm.
Athletic Brew ambassadors by Athletic Brew. And you think about the stuff that we do, and it's not a lot, but there's a
Mm-hmm.
little bit of stress there. You got to do this, you gotta, warrant justify your value. Now
Mm-hmm.
imagine if they're giving you thousands of dollars. And I don't know what Mal O'Brien's contract for a month, but I'm assuming they're generous. Think of the pressure that's on you then, not only to put up social media and stuff, but like you say, to perform at the events, you
Mm-hmm.
know, like to actually, your position dictates your value. And on a
Yeah.
young person, that's hard.
Yeah. Well, and if you've ever read like Kara Goucher's book or some professional athletes, I know when she had a Nike contract, if she didn't perform at a certain level, um, her her yearly income was just cut in half. End of story, no questions asked. So imagine the pressure on that, and you're supporting your family, and it's a significant amount of money, and you don't come top three in the country, you lose half your income.
Tough life.
Yeah.
Not all
I know.
glitz and
We
glamour.
sometimes, yeah, we idolize these professionals sometimes, and but some of that pressure, I don't know, it changes the game for sure. Something that you used to do because you love the sport, it's not the same, I don't think, unless you can really keep a good mindset about it,
Oh, I
which
mean,
comes sometimes just with maturity also.
anybody who's had a passion and started a business at it has realized like, oh my God, I used to love doing this, and now it's work. It's hard. It's pressure.
Yeah.
It's nasty. I
Mhm.
mean, you're a gym owner. You feel that.
Yeah.
As it is, but
Mhm.
anyway, I like her new hair.
Her new hair.
Yeah, it's not dark. It's not black anymore.
Oh.
I think it looks more natural. I think the black was a dye job. Completely irrelevant and unimportant, but I think it looks nice.
Fashion tips with Dave.
Fashion
He likes
tips.
to
Yes,
say.
yeah. We were trying to discover. I mean, I'm not shaved in forever. And we're
Hmm.
trying to decide if I should just keep going until I have a Viking look or just shave it off. I don't know. We haven't decided yet.
Hmm. Keep going.
Yeah, keep going. Just keep
Yeah.
going. Keep going to work makes me.
Mm.
All right. So the plan for today, or one of the plans for today, was we were going to, because we're discussing Tough Mudder AlUla. Is that how they say it? I don't know. Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
And it's drawn like it's coming this weekend. It's drawn a massive contingency of some of the best OCR athletes going. And we thought, how could we discuss this? What are we going to do? And we figured what we do is Jack Bauer always has a pick your top five contest. So we thought we would just do our pick the top five here, and that way we could talk about the people we were picking and go through
Hmm.
like that. But I wanted to read to you first the what has got all these people why they are going. And it's plain and simply, and I can't blame them the least, is money. And there's a lot of it. So here's the payouts. First place, $80,000. Men each for the men and women. Second place, 32,000. Third place, 16,000. Fourth place, 7,500. Fifth place, 5,000. Sixth place, 4,000. Seventh, 3,000. Eighth, 2,500. Ninth, 2,000. 10th, 1,500. So 10th place, $1,500. The
Hmm.
fastest lap, $5,000. Then you have age
Wow.
group. First, 3,500. Second, 2,500. Third, 1,500. And then you also have teams. Uh, Teams of two, first place 20 grand, second eight, third four, and teams of four, first place 40 grand, second 16, and third 8,000. It's a lot of money for OCR. It's the biggest OCR purse ever. And again, it's for an 8 hour infinity race. So much like World Stuff's Mudder, as many laps as you can do in 8 hours. I did read through the rules a little bit. There are five fail or no fail obstacles that you have to do a penalty if you fail. And it seems like the penalty will be done at the end of the lap. I don't know what the penalty is, but at the completion of each lap, you must do the penalties for any of the obstacles you fail. All the rest are mandatory completion. I'm assuming they're going to be like dunk walls and mud mounds and all sorts of stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then you'll have a couple that like a funky monkey or something like that that you can fall off of.
Hmm.
But it does seem to me like it'll probably be a fast course.
Yeah. I mean, we're not talking technical trail running here.
No, no, no. I think it's going to be a lot of hard packed sand.
Yeah.
So it's very sandy, very gravelly. They are saying they're importing mud. I don't know how you do that. I don't know where you get
Okay.
it from.
It's probably mud-ish.
I'm, is this one of our, yeah, yeah, yeah. We could import them snow.
Well, I mean, there is an indoor ski hill in Dubai. They
Yeah,
do
they
make.
did,
Hmm.
they did CrossFit there the one time.
What's that?
They did CrossFit there for the Dubai CrossFit thing. They had to run
Oh,
up the
did
ski.
they?
I think it was funny because I think they ran up it and then like did the ski erg at the bottom, which
Uh,
was,
that's so I used to live 2 minutes from that.
oh, did you?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Hmm.
I would like to try that. It'd be interesting. But
Hmm.
yeah, so big money, lots of names, lots of names. All right. So are you ready to do this?
Yeah.
All right, all right. So we'll start with the women. And do you want to start with fifth or do you want to start with first?
I mean, maybe first. This is
All right.
hard.
It is very hard. All right. First off, do you want to go first or you want me?
Oh boy. As I started to look up some more of these people, and I'm like, oh, I feel like I might. I'm totally not sure about mine, but I'm just, yeah. I I went with Chris Rogowski
Mm.
just because of her. she just seems to have the most experience with the ultra world, and she's been quite dominant the last 2 years at WTM. No stranger to obstacles. Some of these girls have been focusing a little bit more on the mountain running. So I put her in first. But it was a tough call
Yeah.
and with some of these European women. So
With the field here, it's going to be a tough call for everything. And Chris is not a bad call at all. Absolutely. Like you said, 2 years in a row, 100 miles of world's toughest mudder.
mhm,
First woman to do it, did it back to back. Has the ability to jump in any race, anywhere, anything. No obstacles are going to phase her.
mhm,
Only reason I didn't go with her is I'm not sure. Or I shouldn't say not sure. So I'm picking Lindsay because I think back to the toughest races when they were 8 hours at night and she was untouchable. She won everyone she went in and she just dominated that field. And I mean, that was against Rhea Coble and Allison Ty. Hi, Allison. Um, Allison Ty, people like that, that just, they were good. They were good racers, right? So it wasn't like she was beating nobody. And she was doing great. My reason I went with her over Chris is I'm not sure Chris has the foot speed to
mhm.
keep up with Lindsay over 8 hours. If it was 12 or more,
Yeah,
I would go with Chris for sure over Lindsay. But for that one,
yeah,
so I'm taking Lindsay Webster. So there's two of your big names, Lindsay Webster and Christopher Glosky, right there.
yeah,
That's that. Yeah, I mean, no surprise for either one of them, and both should be decent pick.
yeah.
All right, you want me to pick number two first?
Okay.
All right. So number two is easy for me. It's Christopher Glosky.
Okay, so we just have ours switched.
Yeah, Christopher Glosky,
Yeah,
and for reasons just explained, just explained. So you're
yeah,
taking Lindsay number two?
yeah, yeah. Lindsay number two.
It's good to see her back out there. And I mean, the thing, like when you think about all the recently, like Lindsay's been good on it. She's not bad on obstacles, and I do know she's been training them too. So I think she'll be fine. She's very familiar with Tough Mudder obstacles from the past.
Hmm.
So I
Yeah.
don't think it'll be an issue. And she gets along with everybody, so people will help her.
Is that allowed in this one?
Yes, it's Tough Mudder. It's all sorts of confusion.
Oh, okay. That's so weird still to me. Um,
I've always said they're like a little bit pregnant. It's like we're
mhm.
competitive, but you can have help and kind of cheat in a weird sort of way.
Yeah, it's weird.
It makes for a great community and an interesting race. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, all right.
Hmm.
So you got Lindsay's like, do you want me to do third since now this one's a little bit, we actually
Okay.
have the
Yeah,
zone.
go for third.
All right, third is getting harder because there's a
Yeah.
lot of great names in here. Like, I mean, we got Ida, we got Katie Knight, Nicole Miracle, Ulrike Evanson. Um, where is it? Where is she? Where is she? Where is she? I don't see her. Oh, there we go. Esther. Esther Portabayova.
Sounds good.
Portabayova. Deanna Blegg, a name from the past. I'm sorry, Deanna, I'm not picking you third, but I just thought it was great, great name.
Hmm.
Um, I am actually going to go with Esther.
Yeah.
Just the way, I mean, okay, so recently she beat Lindsay in the same type of terrain
Hmm.
at Spartan World Championships for the Beast. So I mean, she's got the legs to do. We all know she can run, and she is good on obstacles, and she's good at adapting. Um, she's just been one of the best racers this
Yeah.
year, and one of the few racers who, like I said, can. If we think throughout Lindsay's entire career, who you can only name a handful of women that have actually beat her,
Yeah.
and Esther is one who right now is good. Now I don't know if she can go 8 hours.
Hmm. Yeah,
I
that
know,
was my big question with Esther. She hasn't done as much of the ultra stuff.
but I do think her stride helps it. Like she has an ultra stride, and she has a stride that suits that terrain.
Hmm.
Going with Esther.
Yeah. So I went with Alyssa Petrova. She is no stranger to the ultra racing scene and has been running some fast 50Ks in trails. So I'm like, if that leg speed is what it comes down to, then I am gonna put her in third. And then at one point I had her in first because she's been running really fast over that distance. So
And she's living out there, isn't she?
yeah, yeah. Well, I think in the UAE.
Yeah, in the UAE. Anyway, and
Yeah,
yeah, so I mean, we're talking like a similar area.
yeah, yeah.
So I mean, that's got to be an advantage, right? Where much less travel, you
Same
know,
time zone.
same time zone. Yeah, used to you're acclimatized.
Yeah. So
It's
that's actually a good point too. Like we're talking like an 8 hour difference, which is very significant. But I
oh,
mean, you're racing for 8 hours anyway, so
yeah, but
cost
yeah,
and travel and stuff is a factor.
that's a good pick. That's a good pick. She could, like you say, she very well could win.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, cool. Who you got for fourth?
And now it's like, okay. Well, so I went with uh Janka Popova, who does race Spartan Ultras also.
Yes.
So like, okay, the ultra world again. No stranger to obstacles, so I put her in fourth.
Yeah, she's like you say, I think she's a safe bet. She's like
Mhm.
very might not have as high ceiling, but she's got that low floor. And
Yeah.
she's only gonna do so poorly even if she has a bad race.
Hmm.
Um, I'm gonna go with and this is a this is a bit of a risk. Bit of a risk. I'm going with Nicole Miracle. Nicole, not as much the the 8 hour distance when you think of her, but she has been training a lot, training well, training hard. Um, Obviously, there's not an obstacle that's going to get in her way.
Hmm.
And I'm going almost on gut feeling. I just think she's got a good race in her, and I think
Hmm.
she'll pull it out. I mean, she's not. I don't think she's going to win, but I do think she can come that top five.
Hmm.
And just I'm a fan of the way Nicole races. She races with a lot of abandon. She's an obstacle girl, and I like that. So, I
Yeah.
mean, you can list the credentials: world championships. One of those few women who have beat Lindsay head to head
Hmm.
on multiple occasions,
Yeah.
and possibly the fastest runner there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know some of these other girls' top speeds, but her background definitely might indicate she could be the fastest.
So I'm going to say she's the fastest based on little information. But yeah, so I'm going to Nicole Miracle for number four.
All right. Well, so I rounded out my number five
Okay.
with Esther, who
Okay.
again,
Well, yeah, Esther again.
yeah.
Not a surprise, like we said. And
Hmm.
just when you watch her, can you believe she's going as fast as she is?
No, some people just look so smooth, and that's just the efficiency, right? She's put in the miles, so her stride is just so efficient.
It's bordering on those walk runner strides that we've been talking about lately.
Low knee drive.
Yeah, yeah. By the way, not to offend you walk runners, but that is the dumbest sport in the world. Who can be the fastest at something that's not fast? Yeah, I don't know. It
As
just,
fast as it could be if you, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
It's like one-handed boxing. I
Yeah,
don't know. I don't know. It's just
yeah.
this. But that's it. Fast. We discussed today. They have like what the mile record is 5:20 or
5:30 or something. Yeah,
something. I've never run a 5:30.
it's pretty wild. Hmm.
But all right. Fifth place. You want to go or you want to hit it?
I just told you my fifth. It was
Oh,
Esther.
oh, you run it? Okay. So I'm torn between two people,
Hmm.
and they're countrymen. They're countrywomen from the same country. But I think so. The one was Ida, attempted by Ida, but I don't think Ida's got that ultra background. I do think Ida might walk away with $5,000 for fastest lap
Mm,
as a side bet. I'd be my take for that. I'm gonna go with Ulrike Evanson.
yeah,
Ulrike has I think fifth place at WTM. She's a great trail runner, great on obstacles. Um, Again, seems to do well with acclimatization, and I'm just a fan.
yeah.
This is why I don't
Yeah.
do well with these pick'em things. I'm always just a fan of people, and I pick a little too much that way.
Yeah.
I do good at
Um,
drafts.
some honorable mentions too. Katie Knight is going to be their previous, not that long ago, WTM
Yep.
champion. So, I mean, and she was someone too who I toyed with
Yep.
also. I just haven't seen her as much recently. So, yeah, there's going to be a really good race up there.
Yeah, again, I agree with you. Like I said, thought about Katie Knight for sure. Um, and I didn't have um Anna or Alyssa Petrova in there, and I thought about her, but I don't know. It's again, it's a great field. Like it's good.
Mhm.
It's gonna come down to just who picks the right pace, maintains that pace, and makes fewest mistakes.
And who handles the conditions? Because you don't always know how you're going to handle, especially people that are coming from here. Lindsay's coming from Canada and a
Hmm.
very cold part of Canada.
Hmm.
Yeah, so you just the system, you don't really know how it's going to handle it.
Yeah, yeah. Bad travel could seriously affect the race and then be seriously financially costly. I mean, 80,000 to 32,000 for first to second.
Yeah, I know. Uh-huh.
Imagine if that comes down to a very close finish, how expensive that
Oh,
few steps could be,
yeah.
or
Hmm.
or a failed obstacle or something.
Hmm.
We talk about pressure. That's going to be it.
Yeah.
All right, men. You want me to go first or you? Oh my God, what a name! What like just a list of who's who.
I know. Hmm.
I think the
Some
men is tough.
some names that I was excited to see on this list too,
Yeah, that like
that I
who?
was not expecting, like Sean Stevens Wales, Chris Swanson.
Elmer King,
I was not expecting some of these. So,
Anthony Kunkel.
yeah, Isaac Sanderson.
I had heard he was going. That was good. John Albin making his return to OCR.
Yeah.
Abel Hardina, Mark Batres, Richard Hynek. Shadag. Nice. Oh, it's just
If there's ever a time to return to OCR, it's $80,000 on the line.
well, I mean, let's be honest. John Albin's a professional. This is what he does. He races. He is a what would you call it? Like he's like a prize racing horse. He goes out there to win money. He might
Hmm.
like the game, but he's there for the money.
Yeah.
I don't blame him. All right, who's starting? Me or you?
Who started last time? I forget.
You did.
I did, so you start.
All right. Ryan Atkins, as far as I know, has never lost an OCR longer than 8 hours.
That's what I thought too.
And obviously has either one or second or whatever in just about everything. He's a guy who on a bad day is going to come third. So
Hmm.
and just he will not fail obstacles. He will not lose pace. He will not die. It just is a matter of if he has his right plan for the day, if he comes third, second, or first. And I think he will maintain that, never losing a race 8 hours or longer. Just
Hmm.
it's what he does.
Yeah. Yeah, the only like we just haven't seen Ryan racing much lately. So he's either super prepared and dialing in for this or maybe a bit rusty, but I Ryan is also so calculated with his training
Mhm.
that he's done everything to be, rest bus and everything else he needs to do. So I had Ryan also in first, similar reasons. And, I was throwing around with some other names too. And Ryan's also someone who will have been putting in the work with the obstacles too. And that's where when it came down between him and John Albin, John Albin's been away from the OCR world for a couple years now and very focused on the trail racing. So I don't know what he's been doing when it comes to obstacles. So that's why I had Ryan ahead of John.
So then I assume that means you have John second.
I have John second.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, to be honest, so do I. Because, well, I mean, let's be honest. He's arguably the best ever, right? Like he's one of those guys that, much like
Yeah.
you, only a handful of people have ever beaten. Ryan
Mhm.
being one of them that's actually been able to beat him. But I don't worry about Albin with obstacles because he was always, always what just efficient. He wasn't
Yeah.
a superstar. He didn't do things that were absolutely crazy, but he was very, very efficient. He wouldn't really
Yeah.
lose time on them, and he wouldn't lose energy on them. And he's running is just beyond compare. His running is fantastic.
Yeah.
And Albin, like I said in the beginning, he's a prize, like a prize fighter or a prize racing horse. He is
Hmm.
not coming there not to make money.
Yeah.
That is why he's going, and I don't see him finishing outside the top two.
Hmm. Yeah, I agree.
And
I
it's
think he would, well, I mean, I was gonna say the more technical running it would be better, but Ryan Atkins is the same way. So I don't think either course it's gonna suit them the same. They're so similar to an athlete. So
yeah, yeah, just
that's gonna be a race.
that'll be a very good race.
And
Now,
I don't think they've matched up in a while now.
well, the last time would have been, I think, Worlds 2021, and that was the one where Atkins win. Atkins won. Albin came like fourth or fifth or something like that.
Oh, are you talking Spartan Worlds when it was cold?
No, no, this was Spartan Worlds in the desert. This was in Abu Dhabi.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I think the first year in Abu Dhabi. So yeah,
Okay.
yeah. No, I think the year that it was really cold and all, I think Atkins did beat Albin, but Atkins came second.
Right.
I think that year Killian won again, and it was like
Right.
Atkins and
Yeah, okay.
yeah. So
Okay,
yeah, no,
third.
third. See now it's everybody.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, like you're looking at former WTM winners here. You got Austin, you've got Batress, and then you've got wild cards with such, DJ Fox, another former winner. Um, uh, Anthony Kunkel with insane speed. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, he can hold that pace for that long too. Ooh. So I'm gonna go with speed and experience, and I'm gonna go Mark Batress. I think, like again, he's got the record for the most miles at World's Toughest Mudder. Not that you can, I mean, that's like it's like a Hyrox record. Courses are completely different, so but it's still an impressive accomplishment. And he won that race looking comfortable,
Hmm.
you know,
Yeah.
just looking solid, looking comfortable. So, yeah, I think he's healthy right now. He's been training hard. He's not over raced. Is he a little rusty? Maybe. I don't know. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Mark Batress.
I had him third too.
Yeah,
Same reasons. Um, but yeah, I mean, I had four names that I could have tossed them up right now, and I don't know. And there's more because I don't know all of these names to be fair. But yeah, just mainly around his previous WTM record.
yeah, like he could hold. And that's the thing. I've seen him do like that. He won that Ultra Virus virtual race. The man can hold the pace for 8 hours. He will
Yeah.
not struggle with that. He won't, he should be fine on obstacles. The train, I don't think the train's gonna be huge. So I mean, yeah, he's just
Hmm.
I think he's a podium guy there. And yeah, I mean, that experience of winning WTM teaches you so much,
Yeah.
about this race and about racing Tough Mudder and what it's
Mhm.
like. So I think Batcher's the man. All right. So I called the third place. So let's see if we can match up on fourth.
Anthony Kunkel.
Anthony Kunkel, the wild card.
Yeah. But just his speed, like at the last WTM, we saw him just taking it out so fast and he maintained that for a long time. So, and just had a bit of a hiccup. So, if again, now we're talking only 8 hours. So, if he could pull that off.
And he's been doing pull-ups. Saw him do some pull-ups.
Well,
Yeah.
that's enough, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. So and again, he's the guy who's probably gonna be $5,000 richer for the fastest lap. I
Mm,
don't see him not going out like a bat out of hell on the first lap.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
there will be those who try to go with him. I don't advise it. But yeah, I mean, he's one of those picks. Like I said, he's a checkers or wreckers.
Yeah.
You know,
And that we haven't seen him as much like we have with Ryan and John and Mark and so but with what we did see, he can definitely hold a pace for 8 hours.
Well, I'm going to continue to go with so we're not going to agree on this one. I'm going to continue to go with my strategy of world's toughest mudder champion so far. And I'm going to
Uh-huh.
go DJ Fox.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, DJ Fox. Again, he trains with Kunkel out in that ultra shack wherever they live somewhere. I don't
Hmm.
know. Been doing weird stuff, but he's a gamer guy. He doesn't seem to be thrown by much. He's a guy that will have a strategy and stick to it. He won't get sucked into somebody else's strategy. He's a smart racer, and he's got the abilities. I mean, anybody who wins WTM, you can do it. He beat Kunkel at WTM. You know,
Hmm.
he I think he's often overlooked and underrated. So, but I think DJ Fox will get the fourth spot.
Hmm.
And then I guess I picked the fifth one.
Uh-huh.
Well, to no surprise, I'm going to go with Austin Azar. Again, WTM champion.
Hmm.
Strong as Knox. I don't know that Austin has the foot speed to keep up with these guys on an 8-hour course,
Hmm.
but I do know that if someone makes a mistake, he will be absolutely right there and he will be solid and he'll be steady.
Hmm.
And I don't think he will pull off the win, but I do think he will end up in the top five because I think many mistakes will be made.
Hmm.
I think a lot of guys are going to go out for that big money and they're going to try to set a pace that maybe they can't hold. And I think Austin
Yeah.
will be there to pick up the pieces.
Yeah. I had Austin as my fifth.
Oh, so we only missed one. All right.
Yeah. We just swapped that fourth, but
And he's a
mhm.
Teemo effects guy, so we got to do that.
Mhm.
Yeah. So we had Ryan and Albin. This one we had everybody the same except DJ Fox and Anthony Conkle.
Mhm.
Not bad. That means they're good picks, or we're both morons.
Yeah,
But
and I mean, again, we've said this a few times, but there's so many names in there too that could be in the mix. We don't know them as well. And Rylan Chaddick's going. Sean Stevens Wales, a phenomenal runner as well, another Canadian. So yeah, things will be mixed up in there, I'm sure.
if this was a 50K Spartan Ultra, my list would be very different. Again,
Mhm.
I would have Rylan Shadag in that list.
Yeah,
I would probably have Sean. If this was on a mountain, I would have Sean Stevens Whale up in that
yeah,
list. I would
yeah.
have Sean because I think he needs the elevation to be more of a contender.
Hmm.
Um, we didn't venture as much into the Europeans here, like Pavel Hrdina and who else we got there? Richard Heineck, guys like that. Again, I just don't know that the 8-hour distance is for them. I don't know enough about their ultra background, but I think that in this familiarity is going to be very important. And
Hmm.
so that's why I went with very, very established
Yeah,
guys.
yeah. Hmm.
Every one of them has won WTM.
Yeah,
So
yeah. So they're familiar with the obstacles, the format, the distance.
exactly, exactly. And I think that's what it'll take. But if you want to watch it, Obstacle Racing Media is doing some form of a live stream. I'm not exactly sure. I believe it starts at like 11:45 p.m. our time.
Saturday night,
I think so.
Friday night.
I think it's Saturday night.
Okay.
I have to double check. But if you go to ORM and look at their YouTube, you will find it there. And yeah, but it starts at like 11:45. That's pretty late, especially if you're gonna watch 8 hours of it.
Yeah. Hmm.
And there's other stuff this weekend too. Like there is the Spartan Jacksonville, the start of the U.S. National Series, which we imagine is going to be a little undermanned due to some scheduling conflicts.
Yeah.
Yeah, they obviously robbed some people for this. So we'll see how that goes. And I believe there will be a live stream for that as well by OCR Report. So if you want to watch that, that's good. And yeah, it's gonna be an interesting weekend. A lot of cool racing going on. Um, yeah, I think that's it for me for that race. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be the most interesting race in a long time. I do
Hmm.
wish that there was more races where we could get this kind of talent together more often.
Yeah, and I mean it shows though that if we were offering prize money at some of our North American Spartan races or even Tough Mudders, we would get some more athletes out. So
Yeah.
something to think about.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. All right. So Beth, why don't you wind us out?
Thanks so much for listening. And also, this will be out after we do our draw for
Yes.
our Hyrox free race giveaway as well. So thank you to everyone who participated and sent in those videos. It's been really fun watching them. And all the best this weekend to everybody competing and to check out the link and show your support, give it a watch, and let us know what your picks were for this race as well.
And also, like I said, this will be after we've done the draw, but stay tuned because you never know, there might be some more race codes to go. There might be some discount codes. Stay tuned to us. Stay tuned to Hyrox.ca. Check the Instagram page and keep alive because we are going to make that event huge.
Mhm.
A
Yeah.
massive, amazing race in Toronto on October 5th. All right. Take care, everybody.